Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to this week's Fast Track Money session again. And then today we have a special guest. But if you are here for the first time, so I'm Yasi behind Fast Track. We have a podcast, we have a blog platform. You can find all the information about career, entrepreneurship, and money on fasttrack.life. And then together with me, as usual, is Matthias Richter. He is the creator behind Financial Imagineer. Financial Imagineer is also a platform, a blog where he shares his personal experiences and his insights, how he managed money and money mindset, so you can Imagineer your life financially in the best way possible. And today with us, we have a special guest, is Nico. So Nico here with us, he is going to talk about how to live an abundant life. And I'm so eager to hear more from him. And if you have any questions, to Matthias, to Nico, or to me, feel free to leave in the comment section. Some of you might join us from Twitter. Some of you might join us from YouTube. Some of you might join us from Facebook all over the world. So we are so glad to have you here with us. If you are watching this replay, you can also leave your questions in the comment section. We will reply you as well. So welcome to our YouTube live session, Nico.
Thank you very much. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you, Matt, for organizing this, and Yassi for coordinating. And I'm really stoked to be here on the show and speak to you both. And it's really great to be live streaming. I think this is probably the first time for me that I'm on a live stream in this kind of thing. So this is new for me, you know. So I'm very thankful. Thank you very much.
When was the last time you did something new?
When was the last time I did think? That's a very good question. You know, one of my on my Twitter account where me and you met, one of the things I have in my bio is reinvention. So yes. I'm constantly trying to not trying. I'm actually reinventing myself. I'm always doing something new, and every day. Probably about an hour ago, I did something new. You know, it's something that we should all do. We should all embrace doing something new. That's how you grow.
Before I jump to further questions, also with Matthias, I would like to ask you, maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself, and some of our audience, you know, is for them is the first time meeting you, seeing you. So probably just give us a short introduction.
Okay, I'll make it as short as possible because yeah, my bio could be very long. But yeah, my name is Nico James. I reside in the province of Barcelona in Spain. I actually have a 9 to 5. I work in the wine industry. I sell wine, I export wine. I am British, Caribbean, half German. And yeah, I've lived in Spain for the last 20 years. And in my free time, I like to talk about leadership and reinvention and also living an abundant life.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it's a very interesting background that you have, and also the career you are in the wine industry. And suddenly Matthias has this facial expression that I totally understand. It must be really nice to sample different types of wines. But today we're going to talk about abundant life. My first question is, how do you define living an abundant life? What does it mean for you?
Well, usually when you talk about an abundant life, when you talk to others about abundance, the first thing everyone thinks about is money. So abundance, richness, money, a Lamborghini, a Ferrari. You know, that's the first thing that comes to mind. And actually, when I've wanted to get rich before, and I actually had a bit of richness in that sense, in the sense of money. But then, you know, I lost it all. And for me, abundance is not just money, acquiring money or making money grow, or investing money, but it's also it's a mindset. It's looking for opportunities. It's being the best version you can, and doing what you can to change the world in your own sphere, and helping to influence others. Because at the end of the day, leadership is all about influence. You know, that's what John Maxwell says. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. How can we influence others? By being an example, by showing them different ways, by observing things that you've never seen before, and basically by doing something completely different, by observing or by getting people to be more creative. Those are just some examples. So for me, in a nutshell, abundance is having a growth mindset, and not just acquiring money. That's a byproduct of abundance, but also in normal life. Whatever you're doing in your daily life, whatever job you have, whatever book you're reading, whatever cup of tea you're making, whatever house you're cleaning, you can always do a better. You could always do it a better way. You can do it a different way, and you can always grow while you're doing whatever you're doing.
My other question is related to your little story that you kind of briefly talk about. You accumulate abundance in terms of money, and then you lost it quickly. Would you mind sharing that story? What happened?
Yes, I would mind sharing it, but I'll share it for you, okay? Because you asked me very nicely. No, basically, so I used to work in a multinational company, and I accumulated quite a bit of wealth. I saved a lot of money, and during my time there, I bought a second house, so a house near the beach, and that was like my second home while I was living in a rented apartment in Barcelona. And then this was in the stock not in the stock market bubble, in the housing bubble we had here in Spain. So I bought it at a very good price, and then 3 years later, the value of the house doubled, and it was the best time to sell. And I found a buyer. I sold my house, and just in that moment, I also I came at the end of my career, so to speak, and I realized my dream was to have my own business. So I ventured off. I sold my house. I left my job. I got a nice payoff. It was at the time when companies were still doing well. Allow me to say that I'm a good guy, and I parted very friendly, amicably with the company I worked for, and I got a nice payoff. I actually got more than a normal person would get. And I looked in my bank account, and I had 250 grand in my bank account, no debt. My house was sold. And I was just getting married. This was back in 2005. I was going to get married, and I was, over the moon. I was on Clyde 9. I'm getting married. I've left my job. I'm going to set up my own business. I've got no debt. What else could go wrong? Well, a lot of things went wrong for me, and I'll try and keep it as short as possible. But I got married. I set up my company. I actually imported wine. The wine business is not an easy business, but I successfully started importing wine, selling wine, made a good name for myself here in Spain. Things were going really, really well until the crisis happened, and then things went pear-shaped, as we say, and everything fell apart. Everything. My business, my marriage, the house. I actually bought a new house after that because I had to reinvest the money. The house that I bought with my then wife. In the end, after some years, we had to relinquish that house, and we spent a lot of money on the house. But we lost it. I lost it. It was actually, I'm gonna take ownership of that, and which I didn't at the time, and it was actually mostly my fault. And basically I lost everything. And had to start from zero, actually less than zero, because I had a lot of debt to pay off. And to a certain extent, some of that debt, only a little bit of that debt, I'm still paying off now. So we're talking almost €500,000 of debt that I had to pay off.
Wow.
A lot of money. And so I had to reinvent myself. I had to restart, and I just didn't want anything to do with the wine industry at the time. And I tried a few other things, but then the wine industry called me back and said, "Nico, please don't go." It's like that song. You remember that song from the 90s? Please don't go. And I came back, and now I'm working full time in the wine industry again, but as an employee, a very happy employee, and not as a chairman with lots of worries and with other things on his mind, other than trying to make things good and trying to make things happen again. So, in a nutshell, that's part part of my story, and you'll also be happy to know that my first marriage ended, and I had to rebuild my life from bottom up, and then I got remarried with my second wife. I sound like an American, all these Americans that have 20 wives and get divorced all the time. Sorry, Americans, if you're on there, but this is But no, I got remarried, and today I have 2 children. Very happy children, a son and a daughter. And I've been back on Twitter now since September, trying to spread my message and trying to get people upbeat again.
And then the key topic for today is abundant life. Is there some moment in your life that trigger you to think and live abundant life through your past experiences, or how does it come through in these years?
That's a very good question. Let's put it this way. I've always wanted to be successful. I've always wanted to be rich and well off. And the pictures I've had, the people who influenced me were family members. I told you I was half German, and I had an uncle who was very well off, and he had a thriving business, and jet setted all around the world. And he was an idol for me. So this was my picture of abundance, but it's not the true sense of abundance that I have today. So I've always wanted to be abundant, but my picture was a bit distorted. And one of the things about abundance is that you have to be aware of what you have, of what you need to improve in your life, and with those resources and your environment around you. You have to improve if you're in the place that I was. But abundance it's a never-ending story, and I've always been into self-development books ever since I was young. I still consider myself young, but not as young as I was like 20 or 30 years ago. But the abundance that I try to that I'm working on now is a totally different abundance to what I had in mind back in the day. So it's always something that's been in my top of mind, but I didn't really know how to get there. And now I can happily say that I do. But we're all work in progress. We always. Even Tony Robbins is work in progress. Everyone wants to be like Tony Robbins, as an example, but he's working on some issues, but they're just different issues than me and you are working on now. He's higher up the ladder, we're lower down the ladder, if I can say that. Not necessarily you guys, but just generally speaking, we are in a different place. But we're all work in progress, and whatever we have now, we can always do more. We can always do better. And that is, for me, the true sense and the true picture of abundance.
You're now simply young with 20 to 30 years of experience, right? Which is the best kind of young there is.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. I'm still young at heart anyway.
Same as Matt.
Yeah, I'm actually older than Matt, I think.
I'm 41.
Yeah, I'm a bit older than you. I'm going to be 49 this year.
So a little more experienced, yes.
A little more, yeah. I could be
young at heart. Young at heart.
But I don't feel it. It's like the way you speak. It feels very energetic. Feels very young, really.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll send me your account number. I'll transfer you some money over for that comment.
So you talk about like you are trying to improve yourself and moving up, in this ladder. I forgot what it's called. Is there any person in life that is influencing you, or have you read any books that you think you would recommend to our audience? Like, what are the tools and resources you use to help you to move up?
Yeah, like I said, I've been reading self-development books for many years, and I named Tony Robbins before, but there are many people who've influenced me, many authors, and I'm still discovering new authors all the time. So it's a never-ending process. I mean, Tony Robbins definitely influenced me back in the day. I still I recommend. It moved me at the time. I haven't seen it for like 3 years on Netflix. I'm Not Your Guru. That was a very interesting documentary on him. Robin Sharma, also a great influence. Wayne Dyer. Like Wayne Dyer says about abundance, he says abundance is not something you acquire; it's something you tune into. Okay, so Wayne Dyer with The Power of Intention, that was a big influence on me. It's actually the book I read back in 2005. My auntie sent it to me from America. You know, back in the day, Amazon wasn't working. She sent me the book. It probably cost her, I don't know, 3 times the value of the book to send me that book. But anyway, that big influence. And more recent books, I would say Atomic Habits, James Clear. What's his name? David Goggins. You Can't Help Me. Jocko Willink, Extreme Ownership. Very, very good book.
Is it also the principle is the freedom?
The Principle of Freedom. I'm not. Yeah, I think that's Jocko Willink.
Oh, discipline is freedom. Something.
Yeah, I think I've seen that, but I haven't read that yet. So I mean, even reading books is just an ongoing process, because you know, like once I put on my Twitter feed, I said I asked people, you know, what's your favorite biography or autobiography? Now, one of my favorite autobiographies is I have 2 actually. One is Open by Andre Agassi. That's a well written. It's ghost written, but it's very well written. I laughed all the way, and it just showed you a side of a really successful tennis player that you would, you know, me and you, we never knew that. This guy was, I don't want to spoiler alert. You know, he was wearing a wig during his matches because, you know, he didn't have any hair, and he was getting shots in his back because of the pain that he was having in his muscles, you know, to play tennis. But it's a very, very powerful story. And another autobiography is by a guy called Chris Evans from the UK, a comedian and a radio presenter. Confessions of a Fruitcake or something like that. You know, and this guy, one of the things I remember is when he gets an offer for some shares he has in some company from the bank, and it's like, you know, it's like, I don't know, 100 million or 200 million pounds. And he refuses it because he says, no, the bank is, you know, they're trying to play me. And then in the end, the shares of this company, he refuses it. And like a year later, the shares of this company, they go down to like 1 million. And, you know, he could have been like a multi-millionaire. And he just writes it in the book like it was just something, you know, just like he lost his shoe while he was walking on the street or something. So, you know, we can learn from anything. It doesn't have to be, we're all focused, a lot of times, especially in performance, we're focused on getting better and getting richer and making the big deal, working harder. You know, you work 12 hours a day, you have to work 16. You know, that's not abundance. You know, you can work a bit more, but you're going to kill yourself if you do that all the time. You've got to work smarter, delegate, work less hours, use the Pareto rule, use mindfulness, use awareness, be aware of where your time is going, and you know, use it wisely. One of the things that I often talk about on my thread, on my timeline, I mean, is the other day, in fact, I said, yeah, you should, and I thought this was like common knowledge, journaling. I don't know if you guys do journaling, and I wrote about a success journal. Now, for me, success, I said, you know, write a success journal, and then I got like 5 DMs. Oh, tell me about the success journal, and I thought everyone knew about this, you know. So it's another example of the abundance mindset. You know, you never know who you can influence. You never know where your ideas are going. You know, Matt kindly, I think every Monday he tells everyone on his timeline what the happening in the financial market, and this is great. You know, for him, this is his work. So it's like really obvious that these things are happening. And for me, you know. But getting back to the success journal. So the success journal, what does it comprise of? Basically, it comprises of waking up or going to bed, and then writing down your successes. Now, success doesn't have to be, yeah, I made $100 million deal. Now, success can mean, yeah, today I took my son out for a walk, and he said, "Daddy, I love you," or "Daddy, look at that BMW." Not because it's a BMW, but just because he was able to identify this BMW because you've told him like 100,000 times, and this 4-year-old kid, look, this is a BMW, say BMW, and then he never repeats it to you. But then when you go out for a walk, without a care in the world, this 4-year-old son, he says, "Look, Daddy, there's a BMW," and you're going, "Wow, where have you been? Where have you been?" But that's a success. The other success can be, I wrote a thread, and I had on Twitter, and I had like 10 DMs, and they wanted to know how to write threads, and I've had this, for instance. So your success journal is basically a collection of successes, your own successes that you've had during the day or during the week. And what it does, it sort of reinforces the fact that you're doing good and that you are successful, because the first thing we tend to do is to think negatively about ourselves, So I might look on here on this live stream, and Yazzie, my hair's a mess, and you're laughing at me. You're going, "Nico, you don't have any hair." But
I was about to say that. I was like, "Where is it?"
I took the words out of your mouth. You see, you can't see any hair, but I have hair, and the 4 hairs I have in the front, one of them, they shouldn't be there, And we have this with everything. We're perfectionists, And you might look at this stream now later on, Yazzie, and my hair, it should be straight. It shouldn't be like this, or whatever. See, I've got you going here. But we should reinforce ourselves. We should reinforce the image that we have of ourselves, and help us to step up and to get better. And a success journal is a great way to do this. And if you do this regularly, you'll feel on top of the world, because it's there to rebuild, to build up your self-confidence, and for you to get better, to be a better person, and to do more, to get more out there than is already out there, for yourself.
How long have you been doing success journal?
This is someone asked me the other day, is this your idea? And I said, should I lie to this person? I said, no, lying is not good. I said, no, but this comes from a German. Matt might know him. I mean, he's Swiss, but he's got a German side to him. Bodo Schäfer, do you know him?
Oh, yes. The 7 years to financial freedom.
Yes.
He had a very big book, but that book was written in the 1990s, and it was one of my first books that got me into money, and super interesting. Yeah.
This was one of my first books as well. Before I came to, because I used to work in Germany before I came to Spain. Someone gave that to me, and that's how I know him. I've still got the book, and it's from the 90s, but he talks about a success journal, and that's where I got it from. So yeah. And look, Matt, did you remember this success journal, Matt?
I remembered how his daddy had to write down every 10 cents for the ice creams that he bought, and the daddy later told him how he invested into him in one way or another. But the dad had a lot of his father made a lot of journaling for him. Yeah. That's, I think, how he got started. And I remember the book is like gray and about 140 pages, and very inspirational, because it takes you away from this kind of limited mindset to an abundance mindset, I would say, because he teaches you in a way anything is possible if you just go after it and think big. That's the other big thing I learned from that book.
Yeah. Thinking big is just amazing, Let me give you an example. I don't know if any of you do sports. For those of you who are watching and listening, I like to do a bit of sports now and then. And, sometimes my weight goes up and down. So I'm a big guy. In meters and centimeters, I'm like 190 tall, which is like 6'1", I think, in feet and inches. And, in Germany, this is normal. In the Nordic countries, this is like totally normal. There's like giants who are much bigger than you in Russia as well. But here in Spain, I'm like a giant. So I like to do it. I have big muscle mass, I have big bone mass. But when I don't take care of my diet, that's when I put on weight. So one day, this was like 6-7 years ago, I was eating too much. I was getting lazy, and I said to myself, listen, I'm gonna run 80 kilometers in 1 week, not in one go, but over a course of 7 days. Basically, I invented, or I've reinvented the 7-day challenge. So I said to myself, I'm going to do 80 kilometers in 1 week. Okay. Now this is someone who's overweight. I was, I don't know, probably 10, 13 kilos, which is almost 30 pounds overweight. And I hadn't trained, hadn't done anything for about 3 months. And I said, I'm going to do 80 kilometers. And this was on a Sunday. On a Monday, I set the alarm for 6. I got up, I dragged myself out of bed, and I ran. And I was only going to run 7 kilometers. In the end, I did 13 kilometers. Okay. Next day, same thing. On the third day, I got up. Well, the alarm went off, and I had to think 3 times whether I should get up or not. I even said to myself, "You're stupid, Nico. You're stupid doing this. What have you got yourself into?" So, but then anyway, I got up and I ran, and I think I ran 15 kilometers. And then by the Friday, I'd already told some friends what I was doing, and they said to me, "Oh, tomorrow is Saturday, so 6th day. Let's go out and let's go together, and we're going to do a 13-kilometer run." I said, "Okay, let's do it." And then on a Sunday, I would just have to run another 10, and I would have reached my 80-kilometer target. So going out with my friends, the idea was to run from one village to another. So we set off from one village, run to another village. And then one of my friends says, because these guys, I should have told you, sorry, these guys were training, my 2 friends, they were training for a mountain marathon. So these guys were like super fit. I was just trying to run 13 kilometers. These guys, 13 kilometers at my pace. I was running a pace of 6:45, like really slow, and these per kilometer. And these guys were doing like, less than 6, 5:30 or just over 5. But they were a lot faster than me and a lot fitter. So anyway, we ran from one village to another, and then one of my friends said, "Nico, how do you feel?" And I said, "Yeah, good. Listen, if we run back to the other village again, this was the target. The idea was to run from this village to the other village. If we run back again, you will have completed your 80-kilometer challenge in 6 days and not 7." And I was really tired, but I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And they helped me reach that goal. And I ran my 80 kilometers in 6 days, from zero, from overweight, from not being fit, from legs hurting. I was flabby, nothing. But this was like a game changer. And then 80 kilometers from zero. People who are fit, 80 kilometers is nothing in a week. So, and then I repeated this kind of challenge. I do a lot of 7-day challenges. I'm seeing here 80 in 1 week is a lot. Okay, it depends what kind of fitness you have. But it was a lot for me at the time. It would be a lot for me now. But I repeated this challenge, and I did it with push-ups. Okay, so I'm a kind of guy who hated push-ups. So I couldn't do 5 push-ups in one go. And there's probably some guys here on the stream that are probably looking, because on Money Twitter we have a lot of things about, you have to be a man, you have to do 10 push-ups, you have to eat steak. I don't eat, I'm actually not a steak eater, so I don't know what people are going to say about me, but that's their problem. But I did this push-up challenge. So I said to myself, okay, I'm going to do 100 push-ups in 1 week. This is a guy, I hate push-ups. I can't even do 5. And I'm saying to myself, I'm going to do 100 in 1 week. And you say, okay, well, it's easy, doing 100. Sorry, no, not 100. What am I saying? 1,000.
Yeah, I was like, 100, it's okay. I can do that.
It's easy. Sorry, I got mixed up there with another challenge. But this was a push-up challenge. Yeah. It was 1,000 in 1 week for someone who can't do 5. Okay, so first day I get up and I do this was the way it came from. I tried to my target for the day was 100. Okay, 100 per day. 100 times 7 is 700. So yeah. You have to make up.
Make up.
Yeah. So on the first day, it took me 20 sets to get to 100. Okay, on the first day. On the second day, it took me 15 sets. On the third day, it took me 10 sets. And then it improved, but then I was so hyped up on the 6th day and the 7th day that on one day I did 200. Yeah, on one day I did 200 or 250, and on the last day I did 300. So actually, I actually went over my target of 1,000. I did 1,100. Okay.
Right.
And now today I can do, like this morning I did 3 sets, and you know, now I'm doing 30 push-ups easily. You know, when I'm really put up, I can do 50. But you know, it's very easy. I can, and my record now is in half an hour is 462 push-ups in half
an hour. 62.
462. Yeah.
462 in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Any of the audience who is listening now, if you can beat that record, please leave in the comment.
And I'm not a fitness guru. You know, I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm not Richie Roll. Any of these. I'm not David Goggins. I'm just a guy who does a bit of training now and then. You know. So this is like abundance. You know, it's abundance in the making. You know, just. And we can take this and we can transfer it to, you know, making money,
right?
getting clients, whatever. You can transfer this, and you can always do more. And like one day I said to myself, I said, look, I'm gonna get 10 goals. I'm gonna give myself 10 goals, which I have to complete in 5 days. And I stretched my mind a bit, and these were very difficult goals. But of the 10 goals, I think I did 9 in 4 days. And one of them was actually related to Twitter. It was like writing different essays or different threads. And then later on, these turned into threads, and you know, all of a sudden, I'm doing 3 threads in 1 week, and everyone's going, wow, you're doing a lot of threads. And this is why, because I'm brainstorming and I'm going at it really intensively. And you know, this is also an example of the abundance mindset.
It's like a snowball effect, because the story you told me about running 100 kilometers or 80 per week, and you did that in 6 days. You mentioned it was a game changer. So I want to ask you, that moment when you finished that, how do you feel? Like what's in your mind that has been opened? You see it as a game changer.
Well, first of all, because I wasn't prepared. You know, people say, because the thing is, on the last day, I actually ran a half marathon. I did 21 kilometers on the last day, and I did those without stopping. I mean, my legs ached, but I did it. And if you tell anyone, you know, when I tell people I did that, they say to me, "Oh, you shouldn't do that. You should train, because you can damage yourself." And you know, a lot of things, a lot of limitations that we have are in our mind. We self-impose these limits. You know, we all do in some way or another. What we should do is set a target and say, okay, let me see how I can overcome this limit. How can you know, get over 80 kilometers next week? What it did was, it showed me what I'm capable of. And you know, this is what Matt was talking about, thinking big. It's thinking big. You know, 80 kilometers for me was big. I mean, now 80 kilometers I mean, it's not going to be easy, but you know, I can do it. I've done it before. I can do it. So I think it was like 4 months ago, I set to beat this target, and I actually set the bar maybe a bit too high, because you know, well, was it too high, or was I just not didn't I prepare well enough for it? I don't know. But anyway, my dream was to reach 150 kilometers, which is almost double of the 80 kilometers. But in the end, I did 120. You know, all I wanted to do really was just beat it, but I set the bar like really, really high. But you know,
but still, we'll talk about this. If you aim at the star, you're shooting at the start, and then even you didn't reach the star, you landed at the moon instead of staying on the earth.
Yes, yeah, and that's what it's all about. You know. We actually have more than we think we have, and we need less than we think we need.
Right.
And a lot of times we forget that, and we can always do something better. If there's an argument, if something goes wrong, some of the responsibility is on you, and you can change that situation. Something you did or something you didn't do influence that situation, and you should always ask yourself, you know, what can I do better? Not why did I do this? You've done it. It's past. You know, now look for the present, so that your future becomes better. And we can all do that. We can all do that. Robin Sharma has a book called The Leader Without a Title. And when we talk about leadership, we talk about the fact that you don't need a title to lead. You don't. All you need is ideas. You need to put in the effort, and you need sweat equity. Okay, if we talk about equity, Matt, it's sweat equity, not necessarily money. And if we put enough effort into that, and if we become creative and think outside the box, get other people on board, because as a resources as well, we often think of money. You know, money. I want to make a successful business. I need $10,000 to make this business. Well, try and step back. You know, do you need that money? What do you need that money for? I need that money to buy a warehouse. Do you need a warehouse? Do you need an office? You know, I think now with COVID, we've all learned that, you know, you don't need a fancy office to do anything. You know, I'm at home, you guys are at home. You don't need an office. You don't need a lot of money to do a lot of things. And we all know this nowadays. There's people making 6 figures on Twitter. There's influencers on Instagram. There's people walking the street and doing stupid videos, and they're making lots of money on YouTube. You know? This is a new economy.
Exactly.
But you know, it's a different economy. So I think there's a lot we can do. So much if we just think and try and be creative. If we can just get out 5 ideas on, you know, how to make €100 next week, I'm sure we can. You know, you can get some ideas, and one of these ideas can be good, and it's going to be easy for you to make this money. Okay, just a silly example. You can sell that poster behind you, Yazzie, and you know, maybe someone will give you €100 for it. You know, who knows? Or the microphone looks like a very expensive microphone. Do you need that microphone? You may not. You can use your laptop computer. You know, make another $50. Just an example. You know, but we're in this cloud, and we always say, "Yeah, I haven't got enough." This lack, but we do. We have more than we think we have. We need less than we think we need. You know, that's the message.
That message is so powerful. Please tweet it as well, and I will retweet it.
Okay, that's my message. Yeah. That's mine. Don't, you know.
Yeah, it's your message. you write it, you tweet it, and we retweet it.
Okay. No, thank you very much. Yeah.
Maybe just let the audience know what's your Twitter handle so people can follow you.
Yes, it's Nico James BCN, and the BCN stands for Barcelona. Nico NICO James, like James Bond, and then BCN. Those are the initials for Barcelona Airport, which
right. Okay, we will put in the chat so people can see.
Yes, right. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. I should have put that down here on under my handle here on the screen. But this is the first time I'm doing this stream, so hopefully not the last time. So
yeah. Next time. Yeah,
definitely not.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. I absolutely feel very inspired from your personal stories, and I hope the audience does as well. And then if some of the audience, if you are interested in abundance life, if you are interested in, you know, have this unlimited mindset, challenge yourself, please follow Nico on Twitter. He shares a lot of inspiring and interesting perspectives. So hopefully that can inspire you and then to level up your life. And if you would like to learn more about money skills, money habit, and money mindset, as usual, that we leave all the information in the YouTube description. That Matthias and I have this fast track money course that is compact 6-week course that help you to transform your relationship with money. And thank you so much, Nico, here sharing with us your abundant life and your inspiring, you know, mentality. And hopefully we will get a chance to have you on our show again.
Yes, listen, thank you very much once again, Matt, for organizing this, Yazzie for the interview, and all those inspiring and challenging questions. And yeah, if anyone needs any kind of help or wants to dig deeper, then please contact me. You have the details via Twitter. I see one of my friends, Indra Bartona. Thank you very much for that. Indra, Nico's an inspiring force. She's in our group, Matt. You know her. Matt and I, we share a group chat that we have together. So that's how we know each other. And yeah, I'm very, very thankful for this. This is something new for me today. And good luck with the show, and I will be following you guys, and it'll be a great honor to come back here and maybe talk about something else. But you guys keep on inspiring as well. It's really good it's really great what you're doing here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nico. Yeah, it's awesome to have you here today. And I've been following Nico for, I think, a little more than 6 months now. And really, what he mentioned with his threads, there's so much value in there. And also Twitter, the community there is awesome. I think there's a lot of people who are working very hard on themselves. And what I really like today, I think my takeaways from Nico is like, you think big, but you have to make the first step. You have to do step one, and then you have to put this snowball or whatever you think it is into motion. And then the longer you push, the easier it will get. But if you never start and always dream about it, you will never make any advances there, and you will stay stuck, right? So to live an abundant life is definitely to dream big, to know where to start, to know also how to motivate yourself, and then to take action. Just do it, like Nike says, do it and do it again and do it more. And if you make mistakes or it's not good, no matter what, do even more, fail forward. And also what I liked with Nico is, I had this in my military service in Switzerland. They actually push you to a certain amount of like stress, like in your mind or in your body. And at the end, if you feel you're at your limit, they push even more. And that's actually when I was like 18, 19, where I felt, yeah, you actually can do much more than you think. You can do more than you think you're capable of. I think that's my biggest takeaway today, to have a reminder of that. So thank you very much for sharing this with our audience today. I think there's no questions. We haven't asked the audience if there's questions, but I think we can.
If anyone has questions, please feel free. That's what I'm here for. And just continuing what you just said, Matt. I have a friend. If I may, I have a friend who last year, a couple of years ago, when I saw him, he said he couldn't run more than 12 kilometers. Now this is a young guy under 30. He couldn't run more than 12 kilometers because after the 12th kilometer, his ankle would hurt. So little by little, I built this guy up, and I said, look, if you can run 12 kilometers, you can run 14 kilometers. So then he ran 14 kilometers. And then last year, he did a half marathon.
Wow.
And then this year, he did a full marathon. He hurt himself. He injured himself when he did it, but he did a full marathon. So he did almost 4 times the distance that he said he couldn't do more of. And it's all here,
Yeah, it's all in your mind. The limitation is here.
Yeah, you've got to be willing to go further and to feel the pain, to endure the pain. So I just want to tell you guys that I'm going to do a thread after this. I don't know when it's going to come out. I'll endeavor to do it for tomorrow. Notice I want to avoid the word try, because trying, you're not doing anything. Someone once told me, try and get out of the chair. So I got off the chair. No, try and get off the chair. And then I went like this. She goes, see, you're not doing anything. You're trying. You either get off the chair or you stay on it. But trying is nothing. So I endeavor to avoid that word try.
I have another one similar to this one. Is I am going to, or I will. So if you are going to, is you are always in the motion of thinking, doing something. Instead of saying I'm going to, just say I do this, I do that. Then subconsciously you will take action.
Exactly. Yeah, very true. I think we have a question here.
Yes, we do. Indra, she asks one question: what would Nico advise those setting out on this abundant life journey? What would you think is the most important things, like action points, how to get started, what to do?
Okay, now I was going to put this in a thread, but now that you've asked this question, I think, we've talked about it during this, but I would say there's basically 8 points. The first one is to adopt the abundance mindset. Now, we can call it an abundance mindset, or we can call it a growth mindset. A growth or abundance mindset is one that doesn't have any limitations. that is one where you improve every day, where you see possibilities, not obstacles, or where you see the obstacle, where there's an obstacle, but it offers you more possibilities, and you work around the obstacle to grow. Okay, so first of all, the abundance mindset. Secondly, I would say the morning routine. I'm in the program from Seth Rollins, which is the Millionaire's Morning Routine. And this is amazing because there's an amazing group of people there who support each other. But basically, a morning routine is having a routine as soon as you get up and working on yourself. So I recommend, I do exercise, I journal, so a personal journal for 5 minutes every day. You know, I clear out my mind, any thoughts, any worries I have, anything I need to work on. A gratitude journal. Gratitude. What am I thankful for? You know, you can make this repetitive, but I always try and stretch myself. I don't try. I stretch myself, and I think of other things that I'm grateful for. I'm obviously grateful for my family, for my wife, for my home, the fact that I have a steady income. I'm grateful for a lot of things, but I don't try. I put down different things every day. So being grateful, if you're grateful for something, then you will get more of it. I once said I commented on a tweet. It was a law of attraction. It said, you know, the more grateful you are for something, the more you'll get of it. And I said, I am very grateful for my wife, but please, universe, no more of my wife. She's enough, you know. I don't want more wife. My wife is good enough. But if I have too many, if I have more of my wife than or I already have, then that's too much. Jokes aside, journal, gratitude journal, and a success journal. We talked about success journal. Very important to reinforce your self-confidence and also to open the scope for other things. Okay, abundance mindset, morning routine, and then awareness. Number 3, awareness. What did you do? What are you happy with? What are you not happy with? Do you feel tired? Why do you feel tired? What is around you? How can you make your surroundings better? Your environment, your goals. What are your goals? How are you working toward your goals? Awareness, very important. Number 4, habits. And Matthias mentioned this as well, and you did, Yassi. The snowball effect. Habits, stacking the habits. So I have a morning routine. I have a habit. Is it perfect? No. I have to improve on my habits every day. But Atomic Habits, very good book from James Clear. How can you make your habits better, and how can you have one habit that stacks up on the other so that you get better as a person and that your goals get better, you reach your goals easier, and you become bigger and you grow. So habits are very important. Perfect your habits, make them better, work on your habits, and make sure that that you know your habits and that you have a plan. And sometimes you just need a little tweak to do something a lot better. The other thing is create. Number 5, create more than you consume. So at the end of the day, you've had a hard day at work, you're at home, you're tired, you can watch some Netflix, but don't watch Netflix for 5 hours. Watch it for like an hour. But make sure that when you watch Netflix that you do double, that you work as much doubly. So if I watch Netflix, I always say to myself, okay, so tomorrow I've got to create a blog post, a tweet, a thread. I have to do more. I have to work more on my threads. I have to create more than I consume. Okay, as an example. And also, Matt mentioned this. Make it happen. Number 6, make it happen. Don't just wish for something. Make it happen.
Take actions. Yeah.
Do it now, today. So you want to build up a business. Okay. Write down a list of businesses that you can do, what you're good at. Find your strengths, awareness. Clifton Strengths Finder, very good book to find what you're good at.
Many of the books you mentioned, I have it here.
Yes? Okay. Strengths Finder. I did the Strengths Finder test, Yassi. I didn't know. One of my top strengths is relator. So
Okay.
I used to have that in my Twitter bio, relator, and everyone said, "Yeah, can I buy some real estate off you?" Because they read realtor, no, relator. So I got rid of that because yeah, it didn't work. A connector, I'm a connector. I'm a relator, I'm a connector. I didn't know that was a strength. You know, I didn't know building relationships was a strength. Buy the Clifton Strengths book. It will make
it's the awareness that you mentioned. Be aware of your strengths. Be aware of what triggers you emotionally. Be aware of what makes you feel happy in life. What is important for you. What is not important for you. And then you also use money as a tool on the things that is important for you to make you feel good in life.
Yeah. If you feel good, if you are giving, if you're contributing more than you're consuming, you'll be of service. And if you do a good job, if you work on yourself, if you invest in yourself, the money will come. It might take a little longer than you think. You know, not everyone's gonna make $1 million in a week or a month, or get 100,000 followers on Twitter in a month. You know, not everyone has that capacity and knows the ins and outs of the algorithm. But you can make a difference, and you can work on yourself. So we've got six points, and the last one was make it happen. Number 7 is be okay with imperfection. Imperfection is perfectly perfect. You know, just because it isn't perfect, it just means you can get better. Perfection to some doesn't exist. You can always do better, and it's okay. But you're always stacking the bar higher, and you're always trying to improve yourself, which is fine. And last but not least, number 8, have fun, smile. You know, be there when you get home, when your family's there. Hi, honey. Don't just go, yeah, no. Smile. You know, your family. Smile. Be happy. Have fun. You know, just before this call, my son came home with my wife, and he was crying. He was really tired. And the first thing on my mind, you know, this was my reaction was, oh no, you know, I'm going to be on this live stream, and my little boy's going to be crying in the background. No, what did I do? I switched on my abundance mindset. I got up and I hugged him. I tried to calm him down, and yeah, and I gave him a glass of water. Then I came back here. He was still crying, but you know, I did what I could to make his life better, and I switched on that abundance mindset. So those 8 points for me, Indra, are the ones which I'm going to do a thread on those, but those are the ones that I advise. That's my action points for an abundance mindset.
Super cool. Thank you for sharing those. I think when I listen to you, I'm more the money-oriented person on these topics. I think I always see the money analogies behind. So for Fast Track Money and for Financial Imagineer, we try to help our audience how to live your dream life, how to enable your dream life, and how to use money as a tool to achieve them, right? And one, you mentioned it, skills. I see what you talk about skills is like compounding skills. It's like compounding money. It's the same thing. Try to be 1% better every day. Just try that. Don't try to go for like from 0 to 100 in one day, but as long as you try to improve every day, you will get there eventually. If you see an obstacle, like you said, this is too expensive, I cannot afford it. Don't have that in your mind. Clean that and go about, how can I afford it? You know, make it a goal instead of an obstacle, and that will wipe out all the things in your way. And then it will make you stronger. It will be motivating, and it will change it. Because my third point, maybe the last point here, words are freaking powerful. And the most powerful words there are your own words, right? I loved how Nico before said, I will try to, and then you corrected yourself because your awareness held you back from just letting that stand there and not commenting on your own actions, right? Words are super powerful, and the words in your own mind, be aware of how you think, how your inner voice speaks to you, because if that one is a negative one, you have to change it. And if you manage to do that, all the other things will not become obstacles anymore. They will be goals and motivational things to go after. I think if you guys are fine with that, we can maybe conclude the session. Thank you so much for these killer points. And I'm very, very much looking forward for the thread. Again, please do follow Nico. We have shared it in the comments. His Twitter is @NicoJamesBCN for Barcelona, BCN. And you can also find him by simply clicking on this video. And there I will also highlight the connection to him, so you will be able to find him. Thank you so much. And next week, what are we going to talk about, Yassi, right? Now, I think
next week, the topic will also be surprise. So please, if you want to continue watching the YouTube live session, we have amazing guests like today. We have Nico, last time we have Steve. Then please follow this channel, and we will come back with more useful content. Hopefully that will help you, inspire you, and then fast track your life. Thank you so much for being here today. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, guys. All the best.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.